Finally, the 3 Count Podcast has come back to the studio.
Oh, finally, Dylan. Boom.
There we go. Welcome into the show. I'm Dylan Chambers, alongside the Diesel to my Shawn Michaels, Ben Hobden. Got another great show for you today. We're going to give our thoughts on Survivor Series, look at all the latest news, and later in the show, we're going to do another special draft, this time in honor of The Rock's 25 years since he debuted. We're going to draft our 5 best Rock moments.
The great one.
Now, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a review and also hit that follow button. Share with your friends. Get it out there. We'd love it. Benny, in the studio, does it feel good to be free of Zoom?
Oh, finally, mate. It's good to actually see you in person.
It's very weird. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while.
Now, what's happening in the news? What do you got for me?
Mate, well, obviously, we've seen Survivor Series and then obviously the Raw afterwards. Guess the big news is Rollins got tackled.
Yeah, got tackled by a fan, which there's some interesting news.
Some stuff coming out about this. Like, have you seen the video that he put out on Instagram and stuff saying that he was hired by Vince McMahon, he was hired by Rikishi of all people, and then he tries to say that he
did it for The Rock.
He pulled out the whole, I did it for Rikishi, I did it for The Rock. So, I mean, it's very interesting.
That is very weird. And I did see somewhere that there was rumors that he got catfished by a fake Rollins social media account.
So he was trying to say that I need you to pay me money. I can't get in contact with Becky. Can you please send me some cash? The guy said I can't because I've already paid for my ticket to the event. It's all very weird. I think the guy, I don't know, the guy's a little bit, a little bit out there.
Did you see what Chavo said?
No, I read something, but he's rescinded it since, hasn't he?
He said, remember the good old days when wrestlers used to be tougher than the fans?
Yeah, nice. I think that's why he's pulled it back, because he didn't want to. Oh, I guess he is AEW, so I mean, I
think people saw that comment and went, ew, Chavo.
Yeah, you remember back when, I think they were in Europe, when somebody come in and started bashing Stone Cold and Triple H just no-sold and quickly got up and beat the living shit out of the bloke.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good to see that, I mean, he held him off. I thought he tried to spear him.
The refs got in there.
They got in there,
too.
dropping knees, and they were having a real go.
If you go to a wrestling show, don't jump the fence.
It's not worth it.
No. You're probably going to get your ass kicked too.
Yeah.
So
well, I guess if that's what you want, but we don't recommend it at all. So
handled very well by WWE, definitely.
Yeah.
What else you got for me?
Mate, what's going on with the egg? Should we touch on it now or should we wait?
Let's get into the egg now. So, a paid partnership with Netflix.
Obviously, Red Notice.
From Red Notice.
25 years of The Rock. Cross-promoting. We get it.
We get it. It was. I thought maybe there was going to be some sort of gobbledygook.
Well, finally, should say that because Corey Graves throughout the pay-per-view, I've got the comment here. He said, I feel sorry for Mr. McMahon. How many times can you bring a giant Ed to Survivor Series and have it end badly? So I thought that was pretty good.
So, yes, I did also hear that, Vince gets a bump in ratings. So if they bring him on at Survivor Series, say that he's going to be at Raw, possibly a bump in the ratings for Raw, which kind of needs it a little bit at the moment.
It does. But we love seeing Vince. But Vince, I don't know. Vince is, I think he's lost a couple of his acting skills. I wasn't believing him some of the time there. But I don't know. It was still good to see him.
It's good to see Vince back. Everyone loves it.
What else is going on?
Speaking of the kind of older generation, Ric Flair. Now,
are we allowed to talk about Ric Flair?
We can talk about Ric Flair. We can talk about whatever we want. Now, he's hitting up Becky Lynch on social media, talking about the feud with Charlotte. He's hitting up CM Punk on the socials, tagging AEW, trying to get a run.
Oh, he did say, I've got one more match in me.
Yeah, let's do this. Trying to get a run. Saying that WWE is erasing his legacy and there's 2 World Heavyweight Championship belts that have been retired that he wants back. Funny that all this is happening the week he launches his new podcast.
Yeah. So what is he talking about? NWA and WCW titles, or what's?
They're old title belts. I think one's the Winged Eagle belt, actually, to be honest.
He only held that very briefly in WWE. So, yeah. I mean,
it's all a bit of publicity from
he's getting his podcast right. I mean, Rick, give us a shout out on your podcast and we'll give you a shout out on ours. All good.
Right. That's right. Thanks, Rick. What else have we got? We've got the rumors that Becky and Charlotte, speaking of Charlotte, we'll segue into it, were supposed to close Survivor Series.
Well, I texted you on the day. I said, I'm pretty sure the women are going to close and the boys are going to open. And then that didn't happen. So something's happened there. Whether it's a case of when Brock versus Seth at WrestleMania that year, and Brock was like, well, I'm not going on last because it's too long of a show, so I want to go on first and get it out. I think it was a great way to start the pay-per-view, and we'll go into that a bit later on. But
We will. Let's stay on Charlotte. So we all know she's engaged to Andrade, El Idolo. They've unfollowed each other on social media accounts.
Nothing official, but...
Charlotte only unfollowed him on Instagram. She still follows him on Twitter, but apparently he unfollowed her on both social media platforms. So
what do we make of that?
I don't know.
Is he trying to distance himself from the whole Rick stuff, maybe?
I mean, I think rather than trouble in paradise, I think it's probably more of a WWE and AEW have said, look, let's pull it back, the cross promotion.
Well, but that's never stopped either of those two in the past.
No, they seem like they probably wouldn't care. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Trouble?
Hopefully we'll find out. Pizza Hut.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about that a bit later, but I got hungry the whole way through.
They look like good pieces of pizza.
I literally ordered a pizza for dinner that night.
My wife said to me, "Can we have pizza?"
Yeah,
it looked good.
That box meal with the 3 levels and so was it the triple tree?
Yeah.
Whew, get me some of that. Is that over here in Australia?
I don't think it is.
Well,
but bring
Pizza Hut, hey.
But yeah,
get that amongst
interesting with the product placement.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
A lot.
It was a lot of it.
Obviously, all the way through as well. There was all the cricket stuff as well, which they're in cahoots with. But the Pizza Hut stuff, like
Vince knows how to make a buck.
Exactly right. I'm pretty sure I wrote that down here somewhere. Vince, shrewd businessman, knows what he's doing.
So let's get on to some news from outside of WWE Universe. Let's go to Impact.
Yeah.
Now,
the big fella,
Jonah.
Yeah.
AKA Bronson
Reed came out and just jumped from behind and just went crazy.
Yeah, just attacked former champ Josh Alexander, made his debut on Impact. So well done, Jonah. Good to see you, back in the
We are a fan
circle.
of yours, Jonah, but he loves a senton. Like, he just kept dropping his back on him. Like,
it was a pretty brutal beatdown.
He didn't hold back. And then he rolled over and just dropped it on him again. I was like, wow, this is next level.
Brutal beatdown. In other Impact news, we've got W. Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass. His Impact contract is expired and he's now a free agent. So
I can't see him going many places.
Oh, bring back Big Cass and
Enzo.
Loved him.
You loved Enzo?
Yeah. I named my dog after Enzo.
Yeah, I didn't mind Enzo, but I mean, Big Cass has sort of dug himself a few holes, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he has.
He's definitely not going back to WWE.
Yeah, probably.
Although him versus Graves would be a great match.
That would be. Yeah, I'd take that. I'd take that.
The shades of Hardy and Edge.
Now we've got Kenny Omega. He's relinquished the AAA Mega Championship. He's obviously lost the AEW Championship. He's going to have a few surgeries. And we've got Samurai del Sol, a.k.a. Kalisto, replacing him at AAA Triple Mania Regia against El Hijo del Vikingo.
I'll tell you what, you said that very well, mate.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very
Perfect
much.
pronunciation.
So Omega relinquishes the championship and now a championship match for Kalisto, a.k.a. Samurai del Sol.
Yeah, he didn't look good. I watched a video on Facebook yesterday of him with a, what do you call him, a chiropractor. And he was going through all the different things and stuff. Yeah, his body's not good.
Yeah, Kenny's due for a long break, I think. I mean, I don't remember the last time he's had a break. He was New Japan, straight into AEW.
Yeah.
He wrestled, a couple of nights a week for New Japan before he even got into AEW.
And not just a regular match either, like high-flying, all-out Impact matches. So
that's right. And doing AAA as well. So, definitely heal up, Kenny. Heal up.
Hopefully.
Bray Wyatt has confirmed his first public appearance.
Ooh.
It's still a while away.
Wyndham.
Wyndham, sorry.
We can't call him Bray anymore.
WrestleCon in Dallas during WrestleMania weekend. So he's...
place to do it.
The place to do it. He's confirmed he's going to be there.
He'll definitely be a fan favourite at that.
Definitely. Well, he'll be in Dallas.
Is he coming back?
I don't know. We'll see.
There was a rumor that him and Braun wanted to start their own promotion. Did you see that?
I think someone messaged Braun on Twitter or Insta or something and said, what about you starting your own promotion? He said, oh, we'll see, or something like that.
I can't see that happening. But I mean, rejoin the Wyatt family, or those two together would be a pretty dominant tag team no matter where they went.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that would be interesting to see. We had the Young Bucks. They got a contract extension. Not that we'd be...
Geez, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Don't they write their own contracts?
Yeah, probably. And lastly, the NXT War Games card is starting to to fill itself out. It should-
Last week's NXT was not too bad at all, actually. That the ending scene with like all the women and stuff, that title match, and then they just all started coming out, and then who was it? Io Shirai, was it, that come out and she's just like war games, and it was
Yeah.
like it was pretty brutal, dare I say, pretty brutal ending. So I liked it.
It'll be interesting. More Zion Quinn for us.
Hey.
Just saying.
He did get jumped,
He did.
but he'll be back.
So let's go through the card very quickly. We've got Team Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, and Kaylee Ray against Team Dakota Kai, and Toxic Attraction. We've then got a Cameron Grimes and Duke Hudson hair versus hair match. So that should be interesting. Got Imperium. They're going to defend the tag team titles against either Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner or Legado del Fantasma.
With Kyle still there.
If Kyle's still there. I've got the Cruiserweight Championship, Roderick Strong against Joe Gacy, with the interesting gimmick there for Gacy.
It's creepy. Like, it's actually creepy.
Yeah. And the men's War Games match is going to be fun. We've got Team Old School. We've got Ciampa, Gargano, Dunn, and LA Knight against Team New School, Bron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, and Grayson Waller. So we've got an Aussie in there.
Yeah. Well, I think who's going to win that? They are pushing this whole New School thing. So will they get over? I don't know. It's Ciampa surely has to come out as a winner out of that, doesn't he?
Does LA Knight just kind of jump ship?
Yeah, possibly. Speaking of jumping ship, we'll talk about it later on.
We will. Well, let's get into Survivor Series. What a show. A really good WWE show. It's
I was surprised. I thought it wasn't going to be as good as what it probably was, because I was so apprehensive. Coming off the back of Full Gear, we were a bit, and then leading into the pay-per-view, it was sort of a bit wishy-washy, and what was going on with all the teams swapping and getting rid of like one person
Ray
from the team.
left, and then Dominic left.
Yeah, and then on the women's side as well. But it ended up being a pretty good
Ended up
pay-per-view.
being a good
Well,
pay-per-view. let's get into it. We'll
Yeah,
get straight
let's do
into
it.
We had on the pre-show, we had the US champion Damian Priest against Intercontinental champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Match ending in a DQ after Priest snapped and attacked Boogs, snapped his guitar, which was pretty.
it was a
pretty
solid break
impressive,
over that
yeah.
knee, yeah.
And then he hit Nakamura with the guitar and got DQ'd.
Yeah, well, he's fighting with his demons again. He did say, if you play one more tune on that guitar, I'm going to come and beat you with it. So
Yeah.
I just feel like this match was a little bit forced on it. I think given time, I know they can't build a storyline because they're on two different shows, but I think it had its opportunity to be a good match.
Yeah.
And then they just went down that path of let's mix it up and let's just schmoz it, essentially. Boogs' character, I don't mind Boogs' character. I think it's hilarious.
And he's a great wrestler.
He is a good wrestler, yeah. He's pretty strong, powerful guy. So, and then obviously played the guitar, hits him with the guitar, it's all over, and then Priest just goes a bit crazy again.
I mean, as much as I'd like to see more Boogs, I think this thing with Nakamura.
It's got to go soon.
You think?
Yeah.
I feel like the crowd likes it.
Yeah.
Well, you might not necessarily.
I don't personally like. Well, Nakamura is a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, he's got such a history past and whatever else, but he's just being wasted. You know what I mean? I think if they're going to do anything, they need to do it for maybe a little bit longer, and then Boogs goes for the title and turns on him.
Yeah. I think they just got to make sure they don't turn Boogs into Elias 2.0. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, anyway, so I gave it a 1 count. I expected better from these two, and I thought it was too much of a gimmick fest. We've got the Nakamura being knocked out, but he hears the guitar and that wakes him up, and then
it was a case of the Finn Balor red light beating heart thing again, almost like it's the urn, it's all that kind of stuff. It's we've seen it, but it's just in a different way. It's kind of weird.
And then Priest with the good v evil snapping thing. Too much of a gimmick fest.
Yeah, 1 count for me as well.
Now we move on. They kicked off, as we mentioned earlier, the show with the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch.
The man.
Against SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. And like, so much build up to this one. Apparently a lot of real feeling in it. It was hard hitting back and forth. It was ended. Charlotte tried to use the ropes to roll up Becky, and she was caught. Becky reversed it and used the ropes herself to get the win. Now, there were some interviews I saw afterwards with Ariel Helwani. He talked to Seth Rollins, saying that, look, this was really hard for Becky. There was a lot of real emotion going into it. You know, they were best friends. They're not now.
Yeah, she was crying in an interview I seen afterwards. She's like, this is a person I loved. This was a person that I almost died in a car accident with this woman. Like, I really love this woman, and now there's just nothing between us, and it's really hard. So,
Yeah.
it was very heated. It was very emotional.
And the interview I saw with Becky with Helwani, she was saying, look, when I saw her out there, I really wanted to rip her head off. You know,
Wow.
I knew I couldn't, and it was a lot of really hard emotions to get through. But, yeah, so interesting that these two could pull something off, and they pulled off a great match.
I think it's match of the card for me. I gave it a 2.5 count.
As did I.
Yeah.
2.5 count. No one lost, essentially. You know?
No, I just think that Becky out-flaring Flair at the end with like the whole cheating and stuff, because they're both heels. So,
That's right.
And she just out-heeled her, and that's good to see.
Yeah.
Neither of them come out of it looking bad.
No.
And I think just Becky winning, Charlotte laughing afterwards when she lost. She was doing that whole, wow, I lost. Okay, I see you. We'll come back to this. So
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
I mean, I think the two have had better matches.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think because of the feeling and storyline that was behind this,
Yeah.
it felt so much bigger.
Just emotion. It was
Yeah.
just emotional fueled match. That was great.
We then went straight into the men's 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. I won't go through all the people that were in it, but I really enjoyed this match.
I thought I did, and then I didn't, and then I looked back at it again, and I did. There were certain parts that I really liked. Obviously, the beginning, Kevin Owens, I'm starting, starts, and then walks out.
Then walked. And it's funny enough, without doing a move, that built up Kevin Owens so much.
So
just by
much through the
walking out
roof.
of the match.
And the fact that Seth was the person that was so heated over it, considering he did it last year.
Yeah.
He gave himself up last year, so it sort of come full circle. And I see these two sort of doing something going forward because they're both in the title picture essentially.
That's right. Look, I thought they pulled it off really well. Like, we got a Lashley McIntyre fight in there. We got Sheamus turning on Hardy after he was eliminated. There was really good teamwork.
Have you been looking at my notes? Seriously.
There was a really good teamwork between all the teams, even though, you know, on their shows they don't get along.
They hate each other.
Um,
Obviously Hardy and Sheamus doing the chest slaps
That
and
was
stuff
brilliant.
like that. That
That
was
was
good.
brilliant.
And then just turns on him straight away.
Yeah.
It was great.
Now, ended with Rollins. He got the knees up after a swanton bomb from Jeff Hardy and then hit the stomp, and that was it. But I gave it a 2 count. I thought it was a really fun, like, as good as you can get from a 5-on-5 match.
Yeah, I dropped it back to a 1.5 count, but yeah, I thought it was good. I thought Woods was a bit of an afterthought in the match, a little
He
bit.
was, yeah.
Corbin was a non-thought in the match, really. Like, he just didn't do anything. What's his name?
Madcap
Moss had more of attention in the match than what he did, I thought. Austin
like Madcap.
he's a bit crazy. Austin Theory looked okay.
Jeez, I tell you what, if that's not hazing a rookie, I don't know what is.
Putting him into a match like that.
Because they just slapped the bejesus out of his chest.
They just took it in turns, didn't they?
Oh, man.
He took it, though. He took it.
He took it. He was bright red.
Yeah.
That's some strong style stuff there. So good job, Austin Theory. He went up a notch in my book after that one.
And then again, we'll talk about it in Raw, but yeah, he just kept going up.
He did. We then move on to the highlight of the evening.
The Pizza Hut Battle Royal.
The 25-man battle royal. Look, ruled by Omos. There was some fun stuff in it between the Prophets and Otis and Omos.
Or Truth trying to give Omos the piece of pizza to help him like calm down and stuff like that.
That's right. Ended up Omos eliminated Ricochet to get the win. Afterwards, the Prophets attacked Styles and threw pizza out into the crowd.
Yeah, they're stealing the New Day's pancakes. What's going on there? They were
Throwing
throwing
the
it,
pizza
full
out.
frisbeeing it, like just
They were going
frisbeeing
pretty
it
far
out.
too. Maybe they were pretty cold. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked pretty hard. But they ate like 5 slices each after the
They
match as
did.
well. They were scoffing it down.
They hoofed them down.
I thought that the tug of war between Aziz and Omos was fun. That could have gone a little bit longer, I thought.
Yeah.
And Ricochet, I thought he looked great. He does look good anyway. But I thought he was going to win. I wanted him to win.
Yeah.
If he eliminates Omos there, it takes me back to when Maven eliminated Undertaker from the Royal Rumble.
Rumble, that's
like if he
right.
just drop kicked him as he was close to that would have been brilliant.
It would have been really good. It was also good to see Omos and Shanky when
Big boys.
they went head to head. I was like, well, that's a lot of man in that
We're
ring.
gonna redo the skyscrapers maybe.
Maybe.
Hey, like that'd be a pretty mean team.
No, that's some big.
The only thing for me with Omos, you know how I feel about it, he's just too green.
Yeah.
Still, like even before the match, he's like, I got this to AJ and stuff like that. Just, I don't know. And he was throwing out people left, right, and center. They even classed one of his eliminations as AJ Styles because he let him go. So
What'd you rate it?
he gave it a 1 count.
Oh, that's more than I gave it.
Wow.
I gave it a half count. Look, The product placement was a little on the nose for me. I mean, it's a Rock Battle Royal. We didn't see any Rock.
Can we not talk about the fact that we didn't see any Rock?
It seemed like an excuse to get a lot of the guys on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not a big fan.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair. I think just the funny parts in the match, that's what got me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good little break in between the matches too, I guess. We then move on to the Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro, against the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos.
You do it too well.
RK Bro. The scariest three letters, even though there's no letter. I love it.
No, I'm down since day one-ish for me, mate. So.
The Riddle took a lot of punishment. As you predicted, there was a lot of hot tags from Orton.
Called it.
An amazing RKO as Jimmy
out of nowhere.
Jimmy went for the frog splash on Riddle, and not knowing he wasn't the legal man, out of nowhere, RKO from Orton to win the match. I gave it a 1.5. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. It was fun.
I gave it a 2. I gave it a 2 count. I think main event Jay looked good. I think he just inserted himself into the match at perfect times. He didn't eat the pin in the end because they built him up so much over the last year that he had to look good in that match.
Yeah.
There's still a chance for him to go on and do something. Jimmy's sort of that afterthought a little bit. And obviously the Bro is just athletic as all thing. Like he everything he does. I don't like him personally in the shtick and whatever else, but he's athletic. He's good in the ring.
Did you like him a bit more on Raw this week?
Well, with the mustache and the goatee and
The
stuff.
mustache, the goatee,
Because I do love Randy. I do love Randy.
Had the vest on like Randy, came out to Randy's music.
And he even won with the RKO. So, I mean...
That was brilliant. Okay, we then move on to the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw, Team SmackDown. Now, early on, this looked like it was going to be a terrible match.
It did. Toni Storm took most of the start of the match, obviously. I didn't think she looked too bad, but she just got thrown into the wrong sort of...
Like, I don't want to be a hater. A couple of haters. Is Carmella getting worse?
Yeah, what was that whole mask stuff? Did it just not go on?
The mask gimmick doesn't work for me, for one.
No.
But, yeah, I don't think it went on properly, and then they tried to...
They covered it up. They were trying to cover it up, saying that they
had...
took too long.
Yeah.
These minions of hers are taking too long, so move it on and don't worry about it.
I think Zelina tried to help her with it. That didn't work.
Well, then that's when it sort of all fell apart for Carmella. So maybe it was part of the gimmick. I don't know, because that's when she got rolled up and got counted. So,
but I tell you what, look, it looked like it was going to be average. Then Ripley and Baszler got in the ring, and
literally, that's most of my notes are all about that.
Business picked up.
Wow.
Business picked up.
Like, you could have watched that for another half an hour, just those two.
That was brilliant. They were both great. I mean, I love Baszler. I think she needs the biggest push. Obviously, Ripley, shout out to our Aussie friend, but she's brilliant in the ring as well.
I love her in the ring. Just obviously her gimmick's gone sort of a bit bad with... Well, not bad, but just...
The Nikki ASH.
Yeah, it's sort of... that kind of went a little bit pear-shaped. But in that ring, in that match, that was brilliant.
Well, there is time for them to separate now. They did lose the women's tag team championships on Raw to Carmella and Zelina Vega. So
in the match, we had 3 queens in that match as well. We had the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Spades, and Queen Zelina.
Wow, full deck of cards.
So one more, and we would have had the 4 of a kind.
We got our Banks Belair moments. Belair was down 4-1. The SmackDown women were kind of fighting with each other. Banks ended up getting counted out, and
can I just say, like, obviously the Shotzi stuff, her and Shotzi had the stuff going on, but surely Banks made it back into the ring 3 times. She made it back into the ring, and they're saying, nah, she didn't make it in. Like, so I was a bit disappointed about that. I think they just missed their timing a little bit there, but it's setting up for what's going on.
Obviously, yeah, and so Belair coming back from 4-1 down and winning it, being the sole survivor for Team Raw.
That builds it back up.
It does. I gave it a 1.5. Look, it lost points for the early shenanigans and the Banks count out, but apart from that, it was really good.
I gave it a 1.5 as well. I think just the way Belair sort of dominated at the end and then hit the kiss of death, and I thought it was good.
Yeah. Last match on the card,
Woo!
We had WWE Champion Big E and Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Now, I have to admit, I do look forward to Survivor Series each year just to see the champions lock horns. I don't really care what happens on it. It doesn't need to be a story. Just to see the 2 champions go head to head. Reigns hit a rock bottom at one point, which was really cool.
Well, Big E hit the Uranagi as well, which is pretty much the rock bottom. So
that is true. Reigns ended up getting the win. He slipped out of a big ending, and hit a second spear on Big E, so Reigns got the pin. But a really good match.
I thought it was a pretty decent match. It was very back and forth.
It was.
Like there was times where like Reigns had the dominance and then he was just giving it to the crowd. Like I thought him giving it to the Brooklyn crowd was amazing. Like just full heel mode, just giving it to them. And then he went to throw Big E into the ring steps at one stage. Big E reversed it, got back on top. And then he hit like 3 Superman punches in a row at one stage. And then Big E speared him through the ropes off the. That was pretty cool.
That was brilliant.
So there was a lot of good stuff in the match.
So while Big E didn't win, they certainly built him up as being super resilient. He can just take.
Well, my question to you is, did it hurt him though? Taking the clean pin, did it hurt him? Because he did power out of the guillotine.
Yeah.
Like he did look strong in certain parts, but I think they could have schmozzed it.
I'm glad they didn't.
Like the Usos were still in attendance. King Woods was still in attendance. I don't know if it's hurt him a little bit.
It may have a little bit, but they're going to keep Roman Reigns and him as separate now as possible.
Yeah.
So I don't think it hurt him too much. Obviously a tiny bit. He's taking a pin, but it's from Reigns
who's the best.
Yeah.
Fair. All right. No, that's it's good to get your opinion. I gave it a 2 count.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 count as well. I mean, for me, Reigns was never going to lose it, and they made Big E look pretty good in the loss.
Yeah, fair.
All right, moving on, Benny. Now, as we mentioned before, it was 25 years since The Rock debuted at Survivor Series, so we're going to do another 3 count draft, and this time...
Can I just quickly say, do you think it's pretty funny that they gave a Rock tribute show and The Rock didn't turn up for the whole Survivor Series?
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to turn up at some point. Once it got to the final match, I was like, well, he's not coming in afterwards, surely. But yeah, so it was a Rock tribute without The Rock.
And then obviously we found out who stole the egg as well. We can't skip over that on Raw.
We can't skip over that. Austin Theory stole the egg.
He just wanted a selfie. Is there anything wrong with that?
And obviously it was a paid partnership with Netflix. They weren't going to carry it on for too long. But honestly, hilarious how Sami Zayn got screwed again.
Yeah, because whoever dobs them in gets the match.
Yeah. Vince is nobody likes a snitch.
That was a very good Vince. I like that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was great. All right. Austin Theory stole the egg and got a championship match for it, which he's unsuccessful in. So yes, 3 count draft, the best Rock moments. It can be a moment or a match. And the other rule here is that I draft first.
I've only got a few written down here because I'm a bit disappointed in myself because I just only have like a few that I like. But I mean, go for it.
All right. The first pick. Now, this is tough. There are so many great Rock moments, Rock matches, but I'm going to take the one that really sticks out in my mind as, when I was young, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to take This Is Your Life.
I did have that written down.
99. Mankind,
yeah.
And The Rock.
He brought out his coach, his
school
teacher. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. So funny. So funny.
And it's been emulated since terribly.
Yes. Yeah. Never try it again. With all the balloons and the clown.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
What was the same clown, was it?
Yerple.
Yerple
the clown.
Yeah. Wow, that's going back. All right, well, that means I get the next pick, and I'm glad I got this one. This one goes back to his feud with Stone Cold, Attitude Era, and when he stole Stone Cold's title, and then Stone Cold drove to the bridge. I think it was in Philadelphia, maybe Pennsylvania.
I think it was, yeah.
And he threw Stone Cold off the bridge, and then threw the title into the water. That's one of my earliest memories of The Rock. Well, not earliest, but like one of my biggest memories of The Rock.
Just threw him off a bridge.
Just threw him off the bridge.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. This brings us. I'm gonna take a match for this one, and I'm gonna take WrestleMania 17 against Austin.
Okay, well that's good.
It was the second of their trilogy of WrestleMania matches, but I think it was by far the best. Obviously, a lot of story behind it backstage with Austin as well, but one of their best, I think.
All right, well I'm gonna go the third match. I'm going the trilogy match, 19.
All right.
Yeah, I thought that was the better match, and it just culminated everything between him and The Rock. So I'm going to go with that one.
All right. Now I'm looking at whether I pick a match or a moment.
You're looking at my notes?
I don't need your notes.
Folks, this is the third time he's looked at my notes.
I don't need your notes, champ. All right, this is another one that sticks out to me, and it's probably not high up the list, but it's one thing that I always remember, and it pops into my head all the time. And that is a promo he did roasting Booker T,
Oh, yeah.
where Booker T had come in. He was talking about Booker T in class, and the teacher says, "What's 2 plus 2, Booker?" And what did Booker say? "Thomas Jefferson, sucker."
Wow.
So, I always remember that one. I love that one.
That is a good one. Well, my next one's going to be a promo as well. And it was a singing promo that he did to Vicky Guerrero.
Nice.
And he just hyped her up so much throughout the song, and then just gave it to her and told her that she looked like a cheap hooker on the street and her hair was terrible, and the crowd started singing along. So that was probably one of my favourite ones. I can't remember what year it was, but it was pretty fun. I actually watched it again today. It was hilarious.
All right. Well, I missed this one in my notes, and I was actually going to draft it either 1 or 2. So I'm glad it's kind of come back to me. Now, I'm going to go with Hogan and Rock at WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
Now, not so much the match. The match was what it was. But the stare down at the start.
That was like palpable.
I just had goosebumps
Yeah.
watching it. You know, something we thought we would never see.
And they were both, because they both like stared like this, and then they were like,
Did the look to the
they were
side.
both just looking at the crowd, and the crowd just kept rising and then you thought they were going to start, and the crowd sort of dulled a little bit, and then they went again. Like they just lifted again. It was amazing.
Incredible.
I'm getting goosebumps at the thought of it. To be honest, that was a good one. All right. Well, what picks this? 4.
Pick 4 for you. You got 2 left.
I'm going to go his match versus Mankind in the empty arena at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Halftime heat.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy match. Obviously, they had quite a few matches in that time frame. We all remember all those chair shots and stuff that Mankind ate. And then the halftime heat match, he threw him down the stairs.
Yeah.
And Mankind sold that beautifully. But that was just The Rock at his best, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you've kind of led into my next pick.
Good. That means you're not stealing my last one.
So I am going to take the Royal Rumble I Quit match with Mankind for the WWF Championship. Watching it back, look, I don't want to say it's a great moment. It makes me physically sick watching it back.
Ill.
He hits him 11 times with the chair, and
It feels like 50.
not lightly.
No.
And I remember seeing, I think was it Beyond the Mat, where they're with his Mick's wife and
Yeah.
kids, and they left. They couldn't watch it anymore.
Poor little Dewey.
Absolutely brutal, as we like to say it. But yes, absolutely brutal. But I'm gonna put it up there.
Yeah, it's an iconic moment.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty more iconic moments with The Rock. This one here for me is pretty hilarious, I think. His match against the British Bulldog. When he goes for the elbow, and as he's coming back, he hits the ropes and just slides across the ring.
Sliding elbow.
The sliding elbow. It's you look up The Rock, and that's one of the first things that pops up is the
So
sliding
good.
elbow.
The beauty of it was he looked like it was all on purpose.
Not at all. Oh yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah.
Like he played it off brilliantly, but that was just yeah. It was pretty funny.
The
If
sliding
you haven't
elbow.
seen it, folks, go and look it up. The sliding elbow against the Bulldog. It's really funny.
Now, do you want to go another round? Or are you out?
Mate, I think there's just so many. I already just rattle off some honourable mentions.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got plenty of honorable
Obviously,
mentions.
his Royal Rumble win
Yep.
against the Big Show. That was pretty iconic.
That was brilliant.
There's been times, obviously, when he sang about the SmackDown Hotel down on the corner of Jabroni Drive, like that was a pretty good one. All the stuff with him and Stone Cold when they used to sing songs with each other, that was good stuff. The backstage interview where he pretended to be Triple H, and then
Get into the ring.
yeah, and then he did Kane. What else did he did? Rikishi.
Rikishi.
I did it for The Rock.
Yeah.
Or he
did
put the Austin hat on and
I'm
stuff
going
like
to
that.
get my pickup truck, listen to the Backstreet Boys.
Drive down to Texas. Yeah, that's another iconic one, I think. There's plenty of them. What else did you have?
The Fruity Pebbles promo against John Cena when he came back for a while. You know,
Oh, it's Hollywood Rock.
The Hollywood Rock came back and he had the match with Cena and Fruity Pebbles, and from then on, everyone just chanted Fruity
Fruity
Pebbles.
Pebbles, yeah.
Brilliant. The Billy Gunn roast.
Yeah.
He's praying to God. Billy Gunn praying to God. There's just one problem. Everyone still thinks that I absolutely suck.
Yeah. I think another iconic, or not iconic rock moment, but it sort of took a turn was when they pushed Roman, when Roman won the Royal Rumble, and then The Rock had to come out to try and get Roman across, get over with the fans. So like they thought if we send The Rock out there to put his hand up, it sort of stole Roman's thunder a little bit, and Roman got booed even more after that.
Exactly. So I mean, there's been some great matches too. Like you can rattle them off against Taker and Angle for the Undisputed Championship of Vengeance, which The Rock won. The Iron Man match with Triple H, Judgment Day in 2000 with Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. Their kind of old school 1998 at SummerSlam, the ladder match.
Yeah.
Which Triple H won, but that was brilliant. And you got Cena at WrestleMania. You got Brock at SummerSlam. My boy CM Punk at the Royal Rumble in 2013.
Turn it up. Well, even I mentioned on the previous show just the matches that him and Triple H used to have for the Intercontinental title back. They were crazy. And then obviously you can't forget his debut at Survivor Series.
That's right.
That was Rocky Maivia coming out.
The first ever draft pick. The Rock and Sock Connection winning the tag titles.
Rock and Sock Connection.
The win at Backlash over Triple H when he gave a double rock bottom to Triple H and Shane McMahon through the announcer's table. And then
he is one of the greatest.
Absolutely.
Like he's got to be close to the Mount Rushmore. Obviously, he's not out. Like we've got our own favourites, but if you broke it down, he's got to be definitely close to.
And he's obviously the most famous man in the world right now.
Yeah. Rocky, how are you, buddy? Give us a shout out.
Give us a shout out.
Dwayne, we love you.
The last one I had was when he led Team WWE to victory at Survivor Series 2001. That was kind of a big moment.
Which one was that? Was that the number one pick the other day?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Cool.
Well
Yeah. Thank you. I've looked on the socials as well. I seem to be leading the votes on the socials, which
you do.
means that title will be mine soon. So I'm pretty happy about that.
All right. Well, let's go back through this. My picks for best rock moments are This Is Your Life, Raw 99. I got WrestleMania 17 against Steve Austin. The Booker T promo, Thomas Jefferson Soccer. Got Hogan at WrestleMania 18 and the Royal Rumble I Quit match against Mankind. You have The Rock throwing Austin off the bridge. We got WrestleMania 19 against Austin. Got the song to Vicky Guerrero. The halftime heat match between him and Mankind in the empty arena. And the beautiful sliding elbow.
Boom.
So we will post those to the socials and please give me some votes.
He needs some. Look, I'll take the loss for this guy, and guys, give him some votes. He's getting sad.
Yeah, it is getting very sad. Now that's it for our Survivor Series recap. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll post the draft soon. Let us know what you thought, what was missed. If we missed even some on our honourable mentions. We'll be back in a few weeks. We're going to preview AEW Winter is Coming. Whew. But if you're lucky, you may get a special 3-count retro recap. We've done one of these before, so
we have.
Let us know on the socials what event and what year you might want us to rewatch and break down. Those socials are 3Count Pod on Twitter and Facebook, at 3Count Podcast on Instagram, or email us 3countpod@outlook.com. Benny, once again, thanks for your time.
Pleasure, mate. As always, click it up.
There we go.
Boom.
We'll see you again in a few weeks on 3Count Podcast.